Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. I'm running late because I had to start over. I went to save everything and it said an error, try again, and it erased all my notes. So I had to start over, and that delayed everything. Okay, so here is Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye from Canada, 90% rye whiskey. This is Beam Rye from Kentucky, also 90 proof. Neither one has an age statement, and they were both introduced in 2015. So this comes in this khaki type bag, and we're gonna, as opposed to the typical purple bag, felt bag. This is not felt. This is like it's not really. It's a cat. I don't know what color it is. It's soft and not off white, not khaki. Okay, whatever. The case that they gave me. All right. Now my success rate has been rather poor on the rye whiskeys. Jim Beam Rye versus. Why is that? I'm suddenly terrible at telling rye whiskeys apart? No, because I was getting them right a lot of times before. I think it's just that Jim Beam Rye is not too it's kind of indistinguishable from the others. You know what I mean? It's got like a common flavor. And I don't mean to say that's a bad thing, like it's a bad flavor. It's not. It's good. It's just not, it doesn't stand out, or I poured a little bit too much of each, honestly. It doesn't have a whole lot of, it just doesn't have characteristics that set it apart from the other run-of-the-mill ryes. Well, fair enough. It's only $17.49 a bottle at Total Wine and More. The Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye, you're going to pay at least 27 bucks, and more like 30. So we're talking about a $10 difference. I can try to look up the price right now. I mean, I haven't bought it in years. It's been about 3 years since I purchased it, but I remember it being $27.99, I believe. Northern Harvest Rye, 90% Canadian rye, 10% other grains such as wheat, barley malt, and corn, probably mostly corn. But fine, no problem. No age statement. If it's Canadian, it has to be at least 3 years old. So we know it's at least 3 years old. We know that the Jim Beam is at least 4 years old, because in the United States of America, any whiskey without an age statement has to be at least 4 years old. So you kind of know how old it is by virtue of that process of elimination. Coral Reef Coconut Rum. Every time I get on their website, it says, "We think you will like Coral Reef Coconut Rum." What have I ever done in search engines that would make them think that? I don't look up coconut rum for any companies. So why would they keep pushing that? And Mr. Stack's triple sec. In my entire life, I've never looked for a triple sec. So I don't know why they're showing that. It's a good price, I guess, $7.99 and $8.99 for the coconut rum, but I have no interest in either one of those whatsoever, unless I get a little sample bottle for Fandango Friday, a little 50 milliliter bottle. But y'all got to do better, Total Wine, because y'all think I want something I don't want. Oh, well. Not available. I didn't think I had seen it around. Search all stores. $29.99. Okay, just what I said, 30 bucks, a penny short. Or you can pay $43.49 for a liter. Mueller, Texas. Mueller, Texas. Where in the world is Mueller? The distinctiveness of Northern Harvest Rye, the unmistakable smoothness of Crown Royal, a deliciously balanced whiskey, extraordinarily smooth with hints of fruit, cloves, and spice, perfect in a Manhattan or neat to truly savor it. Savor its extraordinary smoothness. All right. So they're both amber. Copper, but more amber. Actually, more like amber, but close to copper. Amber and copper are not that different one from another. After this, that's the end of rye for the time being until the next go round in 6 months, I guess. So it takes usually about 6 months to come back around to a style. So usually I'm doing a style of liquor, a type, not a style, a type of liquor, not a style, a type of liquor, a class of liquor, that's a better term, a class of liquor, legal term, about twice a year, once every 6 months. I think that's what it is. Seems to be. I haven't really tracked it, but just from a casual notion of it, I believe that's what it is. All right. My prediction, Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye is going to win. It's nearly twice the price. It better win. $35 if you bought 2 bottles. $34.98, sorry. $34.98 if you bought 2 bottles of Jim Beam Rye. Practically, essentially $35, right? $29.99 for 1 bottle of Northern Harvest Rye. Is it going to justify the much higher price? $12.50 better? I doubt it. DJ Beacon says morning got lucky and picked up a bottle of the Northern Harvest a few years ago for under $20. Very easy sipping and mild rye. Under 20. Golly. Now that I think about it, I got mine for $15.99, not $27. I'm thinking of the Blender's Mash. Bourbon Mash was $27.99. And I'm going to tell you what happened. I remember now. I was planning to get it, right? So it was on my to-get list, and I knew where I could buy it for $27.99. No big deal. Now it's $29.99. But I was at Discount Depot, the legendary Discount Depot on United States Highway 90 business route in Marrero, Louisiana, on the service road, the ground level, still part of the interstates, thing. All right. West Bank Expressway. I was in there looking around, and they had this big display of Northern Harvest Rye, and it was on sale for $15.99. Well, I knew that was a lot cheaper than normal. I say $15.99. I'm buying it right now, and I did. And that next time I went back, it was all gone. It wasn't gonna last a week for that kind of price, and it didn't. So legendary. All right, I remember now. I said, woof. One of the greatest deals in the world. Sorry about that. Accidentally, I tipped it into my mouth. I was trying to smell it, not taste it at this particular time. Yeah, it just smelled like regular old rye whiskey. Tell you the truth, there's nothing really remarkable about what I just smelled. Nothing bad, of course, but nothing remarkable. So ironically, I got the Northern Harvest Rye cheaper than the doggone Jim Beam Rye, $2, nearly $1.50 cheaper. But in reality, it's not going to be that. In the real world, not the Louisiana fantasy world of super low prices, which is actually a reality for us, but not for anybody else. It's going to cost $30. Okay, not $15.99. And I just stumbled upon that deal. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't out there scouting it. It wasn't even particularly looking for it. It just saw it, and I was like, "Woof." Similar aroma, but even less of it. In other words, kind of bland in the nose and even blander in the nose. So let's go with the taste, shall we? The cat was ringing the bell to come in, and she was sitting here, and then she wanted to wander around. Then go. I said, "Go on outside," and she ran out on the front porch to go do I don't know what. Not my cat, just a stray cat that decided to park itself here permanently. But I hung a bell outside the back door and it rings the bell to come in. She actually literally rings the bell to come in. I taught, and it took me one time to teach her that. I said, I hung it up and I put it at the level where her head was. And I told her, I said, when you want to come in this house, you ring this bell, okay? And I ring it. I can ring it with my fingers, but she can't. She has to bat it and it rings. She was cocking her head looking at it. I said, I don't know if she understands. Next day, ding, ding, she's ringing it to come in. I said, well, you learn quick. And every day now, she'll ring it, come in. So she could sort of understand what I was telling her, I guess, or showing her. This one that I tasted here in my right hand tastes stronger. You know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, seems stronger. Not weaker, stronger. All right, let's go with the taste again. Mild rye bread crust. Now, if you never had rye bread, it's almost a waste of my time to try to describe it to you because it's one of those kind of things that you can't describe the flavor unless you've had it. It's kind of like trying to describe licorice to somebody. And they'd be like, what? It's kind of like root beer, but it's not really, but it's kind of like that. But, so you just have to try it. Now, you might hate it. I think rye whiskey is the same kind of thing. I don't think there'll be too many people indifferent to it. They'll either hate it or they'll love it. You know what I mean? Because it's such a sharp flavor. It's like rye bread. I never heard anybody say, yeah, it's okay. I've heard either people say, oh, I love rye bread like myself, or, oh, I hate that stuff, I just can't stand it. And then most people have never tried it. I talk to most people, what do you think about rye bread? I never had that. I'll say, what? It's right there on the store shelf. But, it's just particular people buy it and no one else. It's so good with butter on it. Okay. But that's life. Okay. Seems more intense, seems stronger, but they're both 90 proof. And I'm going to tell you why it seems more intense, because it's 90% rye, and the Jim Beam, we don't know what it is, at least 51%. We just don't know. You think you know, but you don't know, and you'll never know. But you might know eventually. Okay. So I'm going to say I prefer the Northern Harvest Rye. It is better, I would say, assuming I'm correct. But $12.50 better? I don't believe so. And I got it wrong again. Oh, wow. This is crazy. This is shocking. It is shocking. Actually, I shouldn't be shocked since I got only 2 correct in the whole Taste Challenge series. But really, of all the lineup, I thought, well, surely the Northern Harvest Rye is going to come to the forefront and just whip up on old James Beam Rye. But nope. So, well, sorry to the Commonwealth of Nations, Crown Royal, and the Dominion of Canada, you lose. I don't mean it lost because it's not as good. I mean it lost because I couldn't tell them apart, and it cost $12.50 more. So if I'm paying $12.50 more, I want. Oh yeah. There's another thing about this. It's a liter. Okay. Not only did I get it for a great price, it's a liter bottle. If I got my story straight, and I know I bought, I could be wrong. I mean, I know it's a liter bottle. I'm looking at it. It's a liter. Okay. Beautiful big bottle. What I mean is that I could be inaccurate. I got a deal on a Crown Royal product. It wasn't no half-size bottle. A Crown Royal product at Discount Depot. And it was $15, $15.99. Let's see, it wasn't Crown Royal because I paid $44.99 for the full-size jug bottle plus 2 glasses at Walmart, one of which broke already. Cheap glasses. I know it wasn't the Crown Royal Black. Maybe it was the Blender's Mash, but mine is called Bourbon Mash. They had to change the name. I don't think they would have had a whole liter for $15. Now, Discount Depot, a $7.50 for $15.99. That seems like that's something they would have because they have crazily low prices sometimes on deals that offer, but not a liter. They wouldn't have had a liter for no $15.99. But I did get it for cheap. Like I think I paid $30. That's what it was. I'm sorry for the mess up. I paid $30.99 and I got a liter. Can't remember where I bought it, but I figured, well, I'm not gonna pay $27.99 for a $7.50 when I can get a whole liter for $3 more. That would be insanity, and it would have been, and I didn't. So, anyhow, are you gonna find a liter of Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye for $30.99? I don't see how that's gonna happen. I'm glad I got a liter though, because it's so good. You wanna nurse it and hold on to it, but couldn't even tell it apart from Jim Beam Rye. Oh, heck. So what is our final, very nice. What is our final assessment of Jim Beam Rye? Well, it's a confounding product in the sense that I couldn't tell it apart from these other rye whiskeys, except for twice. Not too admirable, right? You know what I mean? I can't respect that average. But there they go. They have it on the store shelf still for $17.49, and I see people doing videos talking about they pay $30 for it. I say $30. I don't know where you live. $30 for Jim Beam Rye. I mean, everybody around here, nobody's got it more than $19.99. But if you can find it, that's the rub on it. Really, nobody sells it. I was at Dorgnac's. They didn't have it. They got a whole shelf of rye, all kind of rye whiskeys. Even the bottled and bond Old Overhaul, 100 proof, red cap, red label. But they didn't have Jim Beam Rye. I said, drat. I went to Total Wine there in Metairie. They didn't have it. They have it on the tag, but it was out of stock. I said, well, that does me no good. Walmart doesn't carry it. If you look on their website, walmart.com, they just do not carry it. They carry a lot of Jim Beam products, no doubt. A whole lot, but not the rye for some bizarre reason. So Total Wine in Baton Rouge had it, so I bought it there, and that worked out. Because I didn't have to make a special trip. I was passing through Baton Rouge anyway in May of 2022, and I bought it. Okay. So short story long, I like it. I would recommend it. Is it that different than the other ryes I have? No. Is it better or worse than the other ryes I have? No. Is it inferior to the other ryes I have? No. But it's no better than the old Overhaul rye, honestly. And I could get that for $15.99 today, right there at Walmart. That's the cheapest rye I can get, $15.99 at Walmart. It might be $15.98. You say that's a penny. Who cares about a penny? I get that. I dig it, but I want to be accurate. So if I was looking to buy a rye whiskey, and sometimes I am, hypothetically, I would get the old Overholt. Old Overholt, however that's pronounced. And why would I get the old Overholt? Well, it's been improved. It's now 86 proof. And it's now non-chill filter, which they claim makes it better. I don't know about all that. George Dickel would say, bull, it makes it worse. We chill filter, we pioneered that. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. And it's $15.98, $15.99 a bottle. Now, if you get the old Overhaul bottle and bond, it's going to be about $23 a bottle. Is it worth it? I couldn't tell you. I never had it. Wouldn't know. How would I know? I never had it. Would like to. Don't know if I will. 100 proof is a little much for me. You say you're weak. You're worthless and weak. 100 proof is too much for you. What is your problem? I don't like really strong products. 80 proof is mighty fine for me. So if I was drinking bourbon, 80 proof would be my thing. Now you say, not me. I'm a barrel proof guy. I want barrel proof, 137 proof, and so forth. Okay, fine, drink it. Doesn't matter to me, especially since your interests don't conflict with my interests. You see what I'm saying? But your business is a little scary. All right. Comments. Great deal for 1 liter. I know, but I think I didn't get it for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I got confused. Okay, but I did get a great deal. I know this much. I know I did get a Crown Royal product at Discount Depot for $15.99. We know it was not the Crown Royal because I bought that at Walmart. And it wasn't a Crown Royal Black because I know I bought that, I don't know, Total Wine, something, which is a great product. And so it had to be the Blender's Mash because that's the only 4 I have. I don't have any other Crown Royals. It had to be the Blender's Mash for $15.99. That's plausible because Blender's Mash kind of faded away. They're still listing it on their website. Most people don't carry it after all the controversy with calling it Bourbon Mash and all these liquor companies complaining like a bunch of babies, claiming that it was going to confuse people. Which, why would it confuse you? What's wrong with you? You're a consumer. You can't read the label. It says Bourbon Mash. Didn't say bourbon. It said it was a bourbon mash. It can't be bourbon because it's made in Canada. You say, yeah, but it was exactly like a bourbon. It was mostly corn. It was aged in new charred oak barrels for at least 2 years. So that's like straight bourbon. Get that. They say that on the website. I can conceive those things. But since I educated myself and I realized it's not made in the United States of America, it's across the border in Canada, then technically it cannot be a bourbon. In a practical sense, it is a bourbon. Okay, in a practical sense. But since these companies don't want competition and they rely on the U.S. government to help them avoid competition, that's the case at this time. But then I think that hurt the brand or the offering, the Bourbon Mash. And when they changed it to Blender's Mash, that was even more confusing to the consumer. And so most people don't sell it anymore. Mathern's got rid of their stock and I never saw it again, which is a shame because it's a mighty fine product. Does the Crown Royal Bourbon Mash compete well against American bourbons? Oh, yes, quite well. But we can't put it in that competition because it's technically not a bourbon. But although in a practical sense it is. So in a practical sense, I could put it in the bourbon competition tournament and it would win half the contests, you see. But we're not allowed to do that. So it has to go into the Canadian whiskey taste challenges. And then it's never a challenge because it doesn't taste like any Canadian whiskey. You see what I'm saying? Now I mean, so it's a conundrum, but I don't care. All right. So far, my favorite lower price, quote unquote, rye is the High West Double Rye at about $30. High West, yeah. DJ, I see their products quite often, very often. I've never had High West, but I'm quite familiar with the brand. I think they're still owned by Constellation, who stupidly put all of their emphasis on cannabis products. I don't know, their ownership was curious. They got this wild idea that we're gonna go and start abandoning wine. Now listen to this. We're gonna veer away from beer, wine, and liquor, and we're gonna focus on marijuana products. Great. So their CEO Marvin Sands, the son of the founder, what was his name? Irving Sands. Oh, I'm sorry. Richard Sands. Richard, because the father was Marvin. Marvin Sands started the company, and you know what their first product was? Get this. Richard's Wild Irish Rose. You say, Wild Irish Rose? You're going to build a liquor empire and your base is Wild Irish Rose? That's right. That's actually the case. And it got big. And he named it after his son, Richard Sands, who was born in 1951, I'm pretty sure. And Wild Irish Rose came onto the market. The kid was like 3 years old, and he named it Richard's Wild Irish Rose. It's a peculiar story. It is a peculiar story. I kept wondering, why do they call it Richard's Wild Irish Rose? Who is Richard? He's a real person, and he was actually the head of the company, Richard Sands, and he retired around 5 years ago. He said, no, we're not going to do cannabis. Our whole company is based on beer, wine, and liquor. And the board of directors was like, no, you're living in the past. Nobody drinks Wild Irish Rose. His attitude was, really? You looked at the sales figures? So he was like, I'm out. I'm too old. I'm like 70 years old. I want to get out, or close to 70. I want to get out of this. This is insanity. My father died. Marvin, I remember when Marvin Sands died. It was not that long ago. I'm gone. Y'all can do what y'all want. Destroy the company. It doesn't matter. We started it. We out. We got our money. We gone. And so he left. And then I guess he's still on the board of directors in a mostly honorary capacity. So then I don't think it really worked out because they started shedding brands. You know, soon after, Constellation started. It used to be C brands, Canandaigua brands. You know, Canandaigua Wine Company, Taylor Wine. Get it? Wild Irish Rose, those Concord grape wines, which all the wine snobs hate, but yet they sell like crazy. Okay, fine. So they start selling all their products to E&J Gallo. Okay, well, if Taylor Wine was such a dog that nobody liked, why did E&J Gallo buy it like it was going, you know, that fast? And E&J Gallo bought Wild Irish Rose that fast. In fact, they bought the whole vineyard, the winery. That should tell you something right there. So is Constellation Brands going to even be around in 10 years? They might be up in smoke. You know what I mean? Good terminology, right? Up in smoke. All right. Well, I don't care. I don't have any. And then Sazerac bought a whole bunch of their stuff. Sazerac bought all the Paul Masson brandy. And that's a big piece of the market right there, and they sold it off. So anytime a company starts shedding brands, trying to sell off, that's telling me they need cash flow. And maybe their head shop, you know, becoming America's big head shop didn't work out. And that is just too bad. Oh, boo-hoo. Anyway, not my problem. They still own or control the importation of all the Modelo beers. That's probably keeping them afloat. Modelo Especial and Modelo Negra and so forth. But otherwise, they look like they're going down. And I think they still own High West. But for how long? You know, I would say probably not that much longer. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. I'm sorry I kept failing on this rye whiskey thing. It was kind of a catastrophe, but well, we're going to try to get back in the groove, starting this week with bourbon. You say, oh, yeah, bourbon, America's favorite type of whiskey. Correct. And I have Jesse James bourbon. My friend David said it's terrible. I said, no, you're wrong. We disagreed, and he didn't even want to review it. I said, let's review it. No. I said, okay, fine. I did my solo review. And Jesse James going to fight against all the other ones I have. And so to me, it's going to be interesting. And I think I will be able to tell those apart, but time will tell. Okay, DJ, thinking of BJ Thomas. This time the girl is, all right. Always like those Paul Masson carafes that you could repurpose. Oh, but that's in California, not in the United States. I mean, not in the other states. I'm sorry about that. If you go to California, you got those heart-shaped. They're shaped like a heart, look like a human heart. It's like a carafe, and it's called Paul Masson brandy. But we don't get those around here. No, we just get the standard Paul Masson. You know, the twist cap type, cheap, but popular, very popular products. Okay, all right. Thanks, everybody.